There is just one aim for Freddie this weekend, and that is to win the British Grand Prix and make it a hat-trick of wins. Being an F1 driver involves a lot of PR work, and today Freddie is going skydiving. Yes, you did hear that correctly, no stunt double, Freddie is genuinely skydiving for Sky F1's British Grand Prix intro. We all knew Freddie was quite a wild character, but even I didn't think he'd ever have the balls to do this. Oh. Seems as if somebody has smashed a window. Freddie's not the most popular person in Los Santos, obviously. Anyway, let's go to the airport. Well, that's another close shave for Freddie.
Preview.
Freddie's used to being at these sort of heights, but he has never done anything like this before. Let's go. Okay, 3, 2, 1, jump!
Preview.
Well, he landed right next to the swimming pool. Convenient. It's a hot day here in Los Santos. But anyway, it's time to turn our attention for the upcoming race. Silverstone is the pinnacle of Formula 1 racing. Many British drivers have won the British Grand Prix in the past. Nigel Mansell, Lewis Hamilton, Johnny Herbert are just a few of the names, and Freddie is looking to add to that list this season. Hey guys, what is up? It is StopMatt1998 here, and I am back with a brand new video. This is obviously part 28 of my F1 2014 career mode series, and this is the important one. It is the British Grand Prix. Freddie and Lewis Hamilton could potentially be battling it out today. But before we see that, we do have to get into the qualifying report. So without further ado, let's see what happens in qualifying. The light went green at Silverstone, and everybody went out on track in quick succession. It was a fairly uneventful session. The success of Austria couldn't be repeated for Marussia or Caterham, as all 4 cars went out. This meant that it was a straight battle between the 2 Lotuses and Saubers. Maldonado and Gutierrez were the unfortunate pair that had to leave qualifying early. There was an 80% chance of rain in Q2, so everybody tried to put in an early lap. Home favourite Freddie Gray made it through despite encountering traffic in the form of Romain Grosjean. The Lotus driver ended the session in 16th. Just missing out was McLaren's Kevin Magnussen and Force India's Sergio Perez. It was full wet conditions in Q3, and that didn't favour any of the British drivers. Jenson Button would be the highest Brit, as he impressively qualified in 6th place, just ahead of championship leader Hamilton, who was disappointed with 7th. However, Freddie Gray couldn't get to grips with his car or the conditions, as he would end the session in 10th. It was a great qualifying for both Williams cars, however, as Massa started 3rd and Bottas 5th. Nico Rosberg lined up in 4th, meaning that no Mercedes car would start in the top 3. For the second consecutive race, Fernando Alonso just missed out on pole position and was set for 2nd place.
The car felt good. I didn't sort of understeer or oversteer, or we didn't change the setup too much during the weekend.
German and Red Bull driver Sebastian Vettel took full advantage of the high downforce setup he was running and claimed a well-deserved pole position. So with the 2 championship rivals out of position with more rain expected in the race tomorrow, we are in store for another crazy Grand Prix. Hey guys, what is up? It is StopMatt1998 here, and here we are today for the race for the British Grand Prix. Really hope you enjoyed that intro and the qualifying report. Obviously, Freddie really couldn't get to grips with the conditions, but luckily for him, Hamilton is low down as well, so not a very good day for the British drivers. Obviously, surprisingly, the highest Brit on the grid is actually Jenson Button, who's starting in 6th place. As you can see by the weather forecast, there is a huge chance of rain today, 86% chance, and basically, on this game, that means that it will rain for 86% of the race, so it will probably start around about lap 8 or something like that, so it'll be around about where our first pit stop is. So obviously we definitely won't be doing that strategy on the screen right there, so we will obviously have to change onto the intermediate and possibly the full wet tyres come the end of the Grand Prix. But anyway, let's go out on track for the British Grand Prix. So here we are now on the grid for the British Grand Prix. Let's do the home crowd proud today as the lights are about to go out here in Silverstone, and they are out and away we go here for the British Grand Prix. Let's hope today's race is another enthralling Grand Prix like we've had so many of this season. As you can see, Freddie getting off to a storming start, already ahead of Hulkenberg and Ricciardo going into turn 1, and possibly even Lewis Hamilton as well, side by side with Lewis Hamilton at the moment. I think we are actually ahead, as you can see, up in the top left-hand corner there. We're going to go out the inside jet spot on the other British driver, and looks like Fernando Alonso, our teammate, has not had a good start whatsoever. He's already down to 5th position. We're just going to take it easy. Obviously, we don't want to do anything stupid and lose our front, but then Fernando Alonso goes out wide there, and Freddie putting his hand up in frustration there. Fernando Alonso tapping his rear toe, although I've got to admit that Fernando Alonso sort of did leave the door open there, so sort of coming back on the track and making contact with Freddie was a bit stupid, but Alonso's actually going to try and take Freddie once again. He doesn't care that this is Freddie's home Grand Prix. He still wants the race for himself, but obviously with the team at the same time, because obviously we are in quite a battle with Red Bull for the Constructors' Championship. Yeah, but a brilliant start from Freddie. I believe Hamilton has lost quite a few positions, and it should be easy to catch up Bottas, who is the next car ahead. But anyway, team ready?
Okay, that's a fabulous start, Freddie. Next car's Bottas, mate.
So yep, as our engineer just said there, all we need to do is just catch up to Bottas and then hopefully challenge Rosberg and Vettel. I believe Rosberg has actually overtaken Sebastian Vettel. Actually, I'm not sure whether he has or not. But yeah, that's what we need to do from now on. We just need to try and catch up with Bottas as quickly as possible and overtake him. And then from there on, we just need to focus on catching Vettel and Rosberg before the first pit stops. Obviously, it's a bit confusing, really, when those first pit stops will be, because obviously because of the rain, maybe even falling down around about where our first pit stop would be, so around about lap 8. As you can see, going up the inside of Valtteri Bottas here, have we got the move done? Indeed we have. Bottas slots in behind us there. As you can see on the replay here, a beautiful move going into turn 1, you just get better speed out of the corner. And as you can see, we're going to go up the inside of him, as you can see right there. Very late diving move there. A beautiful move from Freddie up the inside, and he is now up into 3rd position. Alonso just behind as well. And the aim now is to catch up with Rosberg and Vettel, who are currently occupying the first 2 positions. As you can see now, Rosberg is the car ahead of us.
Okay, rain is expected in 10 minutes time, Freddie.
So that pretty much confirms then. Rain will fall about the time of our first pit stop, so we need to look after these tyres next, because obviously we'll need to extend the stint out by an extra few laps. Because obviously it does take a while for the rain to sort of settle onto the track to make it damp enough for intermediate conditions. But the question is now, will the AI pit on their recommended lap, or will they stay out an extra few laps and pit onto the intermediate tyres in about lap 11 or 12, let's say? But the rain has started now. As you can see, little droplets falling onto the track, and now Rosberg and Vettel are battling, hence the fact that we've caught them up so quickly. As you see, Vettel actually going to go around the outside of Rosberg there, and he's actually pulled off that move very well. A brilliant move there from the Red Bull driver, and we got sort of held up by Rosberg there, who's going quite slowly out of the exit of Stowe. But now into this 3rd section. Now this is where the AI do gain a lot of time, as you can see, into this next corner onto Club. Rosberg gaining loads of time with supreme traction that he has. But as you can see now, Hamilton is actually currently in 10th place, so Hamilton's really low down, has not had the best start whatsoever. So as it stands, we will be gaining quite a few points on Lewis Hamilton today. But I think the rain will spice things up a bit, so I don't think we can go by that just yet. But as you can see now, skipping on to lap 8, Rosberg and Vettel are still battling. I think that's actually Rosberg going to go for a move round the outside of Vettel, and yes, Rosberg's done it. So a similar move again at Stowe, and as you can see, Vettel once again holding us up, just like Rosberg did. It's almost a carbon copy of what happened before, but look at that, Vettel is now actually pitted. So will he pit for intermediates, or will he pit for the dry tyres? That is the question now.
Everyone else seems to be fitting the dry tyres now, mate. So pit in this lap for a set of options.
So it seems as Vettel's actually fitted on the dry tyres, which is just really strange, seeing as the track is, you know, sort of getting ever wetter. As the track is beginning to be some spray, especially in that last sector. The last sectors are getting extremely wet. And actually on lap 9 we decided to stick with the AI strategy, and we decided to pit onto the option tyres for a further 2 laps. I suppose we just don't really want to take the risk of staying out on the option tyres, and they'll probably be dead when the track's wet enough, so we'll probably end up losing more time actually staying out until the track's completely wet, as opposed to pitting onto the option tyres for a further 2 laps. But you can see the AI have done this strategy, so we haven't really lost out at all. We could have gained quite a lot, but I think sticking to the AI strategy is probably the best thing to do at this moment in time. As you can see, putting up the standard mix now, it seems as if Vettel's actually going to come through turn 1 now, and we have actually stayed ahead of Vettel. We have actually jumped Vettel. As you can see, I don't think it will be long until we'll have to pit in for a set of intermediate tyres, and I think that time may have just come. As you can see on lap 11 now, the track is beginning to get quite wet. As you can see, going to this 3rd sector, it is extremely wet around Stone, especially around Club Corner, so I think we will be pitting in this lap. I think staying out one more lap is really just too risky. As you can see, just ahead of us there, Rosberg is in fact pitting as well, so the AI are doing the same strategy as us. So yeah, on to the intermediate tyres now. I think we won't be able to take these tyres to the end, so if it gets any wetter, then obviously we'll have to put with the wet tyres. I'm not sure if we'll have to fit on another set of intermediate tyres coming into the Grand Prix. But now onto the intermediate tyres we go. I think every single car is in the pit lane at the moment, or will be coming into the pit lane. So sometimes we'll obviously have to double stack Sheila Williams there, Felipe Massa following us all in. So we have basically maintained the same positions as before. So the interesting thing is now we just got to keep up with Rosberg and just hope he doesn't pull away in the wet conditions. Obviously, we know the AI are really good in the wet conditions, mainly the full wet conditions, not necessarily the intermediate. So we may have the upper hand on Rosberg. It just depends really how it all goes. You can see now, skipping on to lap 15, it is actually getting very close to full wet tyre conditions. Only a few laps after we pitted, you can see Rosberg there being held up by some back marks. I believe that is a Marussia just ahead. I'm not 100% sure. As you can see, crossing the line now. Our lap times aren't actually too bad considering it is intermediate conditions, but as you can see, he gets out of the way for Rosberg there. And oh my god, that was so close there with Jules Bianchi. My goodness me, that was almost a repeat of Singapore last season when Freddie crashed into Marcus Ericsson because he parked his car on the apex. As you can see from the front wing camera now, so close there, so lucky not to make any contact. But I do believe that did cost us some time to Nico Rosberg. But now skipping on to lap 17, I think the back marks are seriously helping out Nico Rosberg because they do seem to be getting out of the way of him, and they appear to be hampering us. Obviously, Jules Bianchi, a prime example there. But now coming into Beckett's now, as you can see, just driving through the complex there. And who is that off the track? Is that Rosberg? Let's have a look. It is Nico Rosberg. Oh my god, I was just saying how the back marks were seriously helping out Rosberg. I can only assume that he crashed into one of the back marks. I have no idea which back marks it was. But oh my god, oh wow. Could we have got any luckier there? That has just completely changed this race. So Nico Rosberg is now out of the British Grand Prix. He obviously tried to lap a back marker into Beck, there just wasn't enough room. And Nico Rosberg just crashed straight into the back of him. So now on to lap 18. Sebastian Vettel's right behind us now. I didn't even realise that at this point.
Be careful when lapping back markers, Freddie. We don't want a repeat of that incident. Vettel's just behind, mate.
So yeah, but our engineer is 100% correct though. We do need to be extremely careful when lapping back markers. We don't want the same incident as Rosberg had. I can only assume that he did crash into a back marker. I'm not 100% sure. I can only assume that he crashed into what I believe the head is a Caterham. I don't think the Caterham retired due to that incident, but Vettel actually tried to go for a move there, going into Brooklands, but he did back out eventually. You can see now, skipping on to lap 18. Look at that on the mini-map there. So it seems as if Sebastian Vettel was actually pitted in for some reason. He obviously must be pitting in for another set of intermediate tyres. That's just absolutely clueless thinking there from Red Bull. I think the game's literally just programming the AI to come in now because it's their recommended pit stop lap. But it's not far away from full wet tyre. You can see through sector 3 back there through club corner. Freddie really struggling for any sort of aerodynamic grip, so it's getting very close. And as you can see now, looking at the standings, every single car is still on the intermediate tyres, and they've actually all pitted for a second time, so really, really silly there. Once again, the AI being quite stupid, something that has to be improved really for the next game. Just the AI need to be more clever when choosing their strategies. Now on lap 19, we made the decision to come into the pits for a set of wet tyres. Vettel is 14.7 seconds behind us, so he was actually gaining on us obviously because he was on a fresh set of intermediate tyres. But I think the track is really full wet tyre conditions, especially in sector 3. I think sector 1 and sector 2 aren't ready just yet, but I believe within the next couple of laps they should be pretty much full tyre conditions, full wet tyre conditions. You can see other mechanics actually coming out, so I believe some other cars will also be doing the same strategy as ourselves. But now, I believe we are still in first at the moment. I think Vettel has just crossed the line. Is he going to get ahead of us here? I believe we're actually going to be side by side with Sebastian Vettel at the moment. And Vettel has actually got ahead, so has this gamble worked by pitting in on lap 20? We're just about to see now. As you can see, we're not really actually gaining on Vettel. It seems as if we're getting quite a lot of understeer into these corners, so maybe it's a bit too early, but I think within the next couple of laps, it should be more than ready. Obviously, Vettel will have to pit again, and I doubt we'll be able to pull out a good 20-second lead, so I still think we might have this race in the bag. But anything can happen in Formula 1. Earlier on in the season, obviously with the Monaco Grand Prix, we thought we had that race in the bag, but then Lewis Hamilton decided to muck it up for us by an unfortunate incident on the last lap. But now into Luffield now, it does seem as if we're getting much better traction than Vettel, who's currently 2.8 seconds ahead. We have gained time on him, and skipping on to exactly the same point on lap 22, a couple of laps after that. Vettel still hasn't pitted in, so it's going to be a question of whether Vettel will actually pit onto the intermediate tyres, so onto the wet tyres, sorry. But as you can see, gaining awesome straight line speed there on Sebastian Vettel. We're going to overtake him now, going into Cops. Another beautiful move there, obviously reminiscent of his move last season, Esteban Gutierrez. Wasn't quite as spectacular, but a brilliant move. Now Freddie is in the lead of the British Grand Prix. And now, I saw all the home crowd, we're going absolutely ecstatic now. Skipping on to lap 26, Vettel did eventually pit, and Felipe Massa is currently in third. Unsure as to where Hamilton is at the moment, so that's going to be a question once the race results come up. But it has been another faultless drive from Freddie, once again a fabulous drive from him at his home Grand Prix in Silverstone. Obviously got slightly lucky with the Nico Rosberg incident, but he's going to cross the line to make it a hat-trick at Silverstone.
Yes, Freddie, well done, mate. What a place to get your hat-trick. You've won the British Grand Prix, mate. Well done.
So obviously Freddie making a hat-trick of wins now. That is 3 in a row. Absolutely unbelievable. Freddie is really mounting a serious charge to Lewis Hamilton. Ever since the Monaco Grand Prix, he's picked himself up and he really has shown great authority. And he has once again won another Grand Prix. As you can see there, unfortunate really for Jenson Button to retire from his home Grand Prix. I think we got a quick glimpse there, and I believe Lewis Hamilton, yes, he did finish in 4th in the end. Slightly unfortunate, he did gain quite a lot of points today considering where he started, but fabulous. From 10th to 1st, that is a fabulous drive there from Freddie. But you can see on the Drivers' Championship now, we are 27 points behind Lewis Hamilton, so just over a race victory behind. So I think it does look as if it will be a straight battle between Freddie and Lewis Hamilton for the Drivers' Championship. Now in the Constructors, we have actually overtaken Red Bull. Fabulous. So me and Alonso did finish ahead of both of the Red Bulls, although I do believe Alonso finished behind Vettel, but ahead of Ricciardo, so that's why we are ahead of Red Bull now in the Constructors' standings. But anyway guys, if you have enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And be sure to comment as well your thoughts in regards to the race, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.